Hello everyone, welcome to Module 8 of the MOOC on Creative Writing. In this video lecture, we shall look into the definition of advertising, some important key concepts of advertising, the different types of advertising, the concept of copywriting with special emphasis on radio and television copy. Now, as we all know, advertisement has become an integral part in today's marketing scenario. In the earlier times, advertisement was not given much importance as it is being given today. The Institute of Practitioners in Advertising, it defines the term as advertising presents the most persuasive possible selling message to the right prospects for the product or service at the lowest possible cost. And here we have a combination of creativity, marketing research, and economic media buying. Now, the particular word advertising, it is a Latin word which means to turn attention of people to a specific thing. It is a paid publicity. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the word to advertise, it means to make generally or publicly known, describe publicly with a view to increasing the sales. According to the London School of Practitioner and Advertising, advertising prescribes the most persuasive possible selling message at the lowest cost. Thus, advertising is a mass communication tool which is essentially in paid form by a firm or an individual, and ultimate purpose of which is to give information, develop attitudes, and induce action which are useful to the advertiser. Now, advertising presents and upholds the ideas, the commodities and services of a recognized advertiser, which provides as a communication link between the producer and the potential buyers. It gives the information to the would-be buyers who are interested in seeking the information about a product and the manufacturer. And advertising may be taken as a most efficient means of reaching people with product information. Now, there are important points that we need to look into. The first important point as far as advertising is concerned is that advertising is a non-personal and paid for publicity. Second important point is that advertising is a non-personal communication. It is usually persuasive in nature about the products, about the services or ideas by identified sponsors through the different media. And third important point that we need to look into is that advertising is a description or presentation of a product, an idea or organization in order to induce individuals to buy, to support or to approve of it. Now let us come to some of the key concepts of advertising. There are some very commonly used terms that we might have come across in our day-to-day lives. Let us take a look at a few important concepts. The first is audience. I'm sure most of you have come across this term audience as far as advertisement is concerned. Now, audience is the cornerstone of any advertising campaign. An audience is a group of individuals who are the primary targets of a particular marketing message. And they could be potential customers or current users of a product or service. In advertising, understanding your audience is very important. And this includes knowing their demographics, their psychographics, which includes interests, attitudes, behaviors, and also their needs and wants. But another important concept of advertising that we have come across is a term called branding. Now, branding is a process of creating a unique name, a unique symbol or a design that identifies and differentiates a product from others. An effective branding, it creates a memorable impression on the consumers and allows the consumers and clients to know what to expect from the company. In fact, it is a way of distinguishing yourself from competitors and clarifying what is it that you have to offer that makes you the better choice. Then, message. Now, message is an important component of communication process, and also message is another key important concept of advertising also. Now, the core idea or information the advertisement seeks to communicate is a message, and typically the message is designed to appeal to the target audience's emotions, their needs or their desires. Then another important concept related to the field of advertisement is a creative strategy. So from the term itself, we can make out that this is an approach that is used to craft the advertisement, including its tone, its style and format. And this can be humorous, it can be serious, it can be emotional or informative as well, depending on the campaign objectives. Then we have the media channels. Of course, you have to draft the copy of the advertisement in keeping in mind who are your target audience, using your creativity, and then you have to select the specific channel through which you will advertise the particular product or through which the particular advertisement will be disseminated to the people. That is what the media channels is all about. Now, the platforms through which advertisements are delivered, including television, radio, print, online platforms, social media, billboards, and influencer marketing, they all constitute the media channels. And selecting the right media channel is very much important for reaching the target audience effectively. Then another important part of advertising strategy or advertisement is creativity. In the field of advertising, creativity is the key. It is a tool that grabs attention, sparks interest, and engages the audience. Creativity in advertising, it goes beyond making an advertisement look good. In fact, it involves creating a unique concept, a compelling message, and an engaging execution. An advertisement that stands out in a sea of sameness can make a world of difference in how a brand is perceived and remembered. Then data. And data is another important part of advertisement. Rather, it's a key concept of advertisement. Now, data-driven advertising is a practice of using insights from data analysis to guide strategy and decision making. This can range from simple demographic data to complex consumer behavior tracking. And with the rise of digital advertising, data collection and analysis have become more sophisticated, allowing advertisers to create highly targeted and personalized advertisements. Then another important concept related to the field of advertisement is engagement. How can we engage the audience? How can we encourage or how can we make the audience accept what the advertisement is all about? The engagement refers to the level of interaction between the audience and the advertising content. And this could be in the form of likes, shares, comments, or any action that the viewer takes in response to an advertisement. High engagement, it indicates that the advertisement has resonated with the audience, and it is a crucial measure of the advertisement's effectiveness. Then another important concept of advertisement is frequency. Frequency in advertising, it refers to the number of times a person is exposed to an advertisement. And achieving the right frequency is a delicate balance. Too little and the message may not register too much, and the audience may become annoyed. Then goals. Every advertising campaign should have a clear, measurable goal. Whether it is to increase the brand awareness, drive sales, or generate leads, having a defined objective will guide the campaign strategy and help evaluate its success. So, understanding all these different fundamental concepts can actually provide a strong foundation for anyone venturing into advertising. Now, apart from these few concepts, there are also other concepts which are very lesser known. Like there is, budget allocation, which is a part of advertisement, where it includes the amount of money allocated to the advertising campaign. Then there is frequency and reach. Reach is basically the total number of people who see the advertisement. Then there is return on an investment, which is a key performance metric that helps to measure the effectiveness of an advertising campaign by comparing the revenue generated to the cost of the campaign. So these are some of the important or key concepts that we need to look into before we venture into the world of advertisement. Now let us come to the different types of advertisement or the different classification. Now advertising can be classified on the basis of function, on the basis of region, on the basis of target market, on the basis of company demand, on the basis of desired response and media. The first important classification is based on function, and under this particular category we have informative advertising. Now from the term itself you can make out that this type of advertising informs the customers about the products, about the services or ideas of the firm or organization. Suppose for example a particular organization is offering some kind of discount, or maybe some mall is offering some discount on garments or some other goods. So that is the kind of information that the particular organization is forwarding to the general audience. Second important type is the persuasive advertising. Now this type of advertising, it persuades or motivates the prospective buyers to take quick action to buy the products or services of the firm. Suppose for example, I'm sure most of us have come across advertisements related to different products when it says like buy one get one free. So such type of advertisement, it persuades the buyers to buy that particular product, because when they buy one product they get another product free. Then we have reminder advertising. This particular genre of advertising, it reminds the existing customers to become medium or heavy users of the products or services of the firm that have been purchased by them at least once. And this type of advertising in exercise helps in keeping the brand name and uses of the products in the minds of the existing customers. Then we have negative advertising. Now, this type of advertising, it dissuades the target audience from purchasing such products and services which would not only harm them but also the society in general. For example, advertisements of various civic authorities against alcohol, tobacco and narcotics. Or maybe, for example, the advertisement of the National AIDS Control Organization asking people not to indulge in some other immoral activities. So this is the first type of classification, first category of classification. Then the second category of classification, the classification based on region. Under this particular category, we have global advertising. Now, this is executed by a firm in its global market niche. Reputed global magazines like The Time, Far Eastern, Economic Review, Span, Fortune, etc., they are used to advertise the products throughout the world. Then we have national advertising. This type of advertising is executed by a firm at the national level. And this is done to increase the demand of its products and services throughout the country. Then we have regional advertising. Now, if the manufacturer confines his advertising to a single region of the country, its promotional exercise is known as regional advertising. And this can be done by the manufacturer, the wholesaler, or the retailer of the firm. For example, advertisements of the regional newspapers covering those states or districts where these newspapers are circulated is an example of regional advertising. Suppose, as far as Northeast is concerned, the Assam Tribune is a very popular newspaper. Then we have local advertising. Well, advertising is done only for one area or city. It is known as local advertising. For example, suppose an advertisement is being done of a local FM radio station. Now, some professionals might also call it as retail advertising. It is sometimes done by the retailer to persuade the customer to come to his or her store regularly and not for any particular brand. That is local advertising. You are advertising in a locality, in a local area. Then a third most important category of classification is based on targeted markets. The first important type is under this particular category is consumer product advertising. Now this advertising is done to impress the ultimate consumer. An ultimate consumer is a person who buys a product or service for his or her own personal use. Suppose there is advertisement on some kind of brand of a particular garment. There is advertisement regarding some skincare cosmetics brand. So these are some of the consumer product advertisement. There are some of the examples because it targets a specific group of people. Then we have industrial product advertising. This is also known as business to business advertising. And this is done by the industrial manufacturer or his distributor and is so designed that it increases the demand of the industrial product or services manufactured by the manufacturer. And this is directed towards the industrial customer. Then we have trade advertising. This type of advertising is done by the manufacturer to persuade the wholesalers and retailers to sell his or her goods. And different types of media are chosen by each manufacturer according to his or her product type, the nature of distribution channel, and the resources at his or her command. Here it is designed for those wholesalers and retailers who can promote and sell the products. Then we have professional advertising. Now this is executed by the manufacturers and the distributors to influence the professionals of a particular trade or business stream. These professionals recommend or prescribe the products of these manufacturers to the ultimate buyer. And manufacturers of these products try to reach these professionals under well-prepared programs. Then we have financial advertising. Now banks, financial institutions and corporate firms, they issue some advertisements in order to collect funds from market. They publish prospectuses and application forms and place them at those points where the prospective investors can easily spot them. Then the fourth important category of advertisement is classification based on company demand. The first category under this first type of classification under this particular category is primary demand advertising. This is also known as generic advertising. This category of advertising is designed to increase the primary demand, and this is done by trade associations or groups in the industry. The broader interests of the industry are taken care of without laying much emphasis on the products of the firm that executes this type of advertising campaign. For example, advertisements for promoting gold, which might include some brands, then maybe advertisements for promoting some brand of coffee, some brand of milk, and so on and so forth. Then we have selective demand advertising. This is done by a company or dealer to increase the company demand. The company would advertise its own brand only, and the retailer can also advertise a particular brand. For example, some brand of wristwatch, or some brand of a bike, some brand of television, that is how it's selective. Fifth important category is classification based on desired responses. And under this category, we have direct action advertising. This particular type of advertising is done to get immediate responses from customers. Suppose some kind of sale is going on, coupons are being offered. So these are some of the you're trying to directly influence the buyers to purchase a particular product. Then we have indirect action advertising. This type of advertising exercises is carried out to make a positive effect on the mind of the reader or the viewer. So after getting the advertisement, he or she, they do not rush to buy the product, but they develop a favorable image of the brand in their own mind. And a general audience would buy only that particular product or service whose image is positive in their mind. Then we have surrogate advertising. In this type of promotional effort, what happens is that the marketer promotes a different product. For example, the promotion of Bagpiper soda. So the firm is promoting Bagpiper whiskey, but intentionally shows soda, because they very well know that the audience is very much well aware about the product, and they know this fact that when the actor states खूब जमेगा रंग जब मिल बैठेंगे तीन यार आप मैं और Bagpiper. Another example is the advertisement of McDowell apple juice. So our society, they do not like products like liquor, cigarettes, etc. to be promoted in the media. But the firms who manufacture these products, they use the surrogate advertising technique to remind the audience or viewers that such products are available in the market. Then another category on which we can classify advertisement is based on the media used for advertisements. So first is we have audio advertising. Now this is done through radio, specifically radio, and also other auto rickshaw promotions and other four-wheeler promotions also used. Then we have visual advertising. This is done through POP displays without the text catalogs, leaflets, cloth banners, brochures, electronic hoardings, simple hoardings, etc. Then we have audio visual advertisement. So from the term itself, we can make out that this is done through cinema slides, through movies, video clips, television advertisements, cable TV advertisements, etc. Then we have written advertising. This is done primarily through letters, through fax messages, through leaflets, through brochures, through articles, and so on and so forth. Moving on, we have internet advertising. The World Wide Web is used extensively to promote products and services of all genres. Then we have verbal advertising. Verbal tools are used to advertise thoughts, products and services during conferences, seminars, and group discussions. So far we have tried to analyze the concept of advertising. What are the key areas that we need to look into as far as the field of advertisement is concerned? And finally, the different types of advertisements or the categories based on which advertising can be divided. Now let us try to understand the concept of copywriting. What exactly is copywriting? Copywriting is the art and science of writing text with the goal of persuading or influencing an audience to take a specific action. And it is used in advertising, marketing, and other forms of communication to encourage behaviors like purchasing a product, like signing up for a service, or engaging with content. Basically, copy is the written portion of an advertisement. It is a main body of words or the textual matter of an advertisement. The copy, regardless of the medium, is basically an amplification of the headline theme. So the copy should explain these important points. The first important point is to whom the copy is addressed to and why. The second important point is what media are being used. The third important point is the exact purpose of this piece of copy. And finally, the fourth important point is that the points that are to be made and the sequence in which they are to be made. So these are the important points as far as a copy, advertisement copy is concerned. Then what are the functions that we need to look into a copy? The important functions are: the copy must arouse interest. It should be conceptualized in such a way that people should get attracted to it. People should be interested by it. They might feel the need or the urge to look at that particular product or the service. The second important function of a copy is that it must provide believable information that is easy to understand and likely to what desire to own the product. The facts must be authentic. That is what it is meant. The third important function is that particular copy must compel the readers to see the product and to try it once, or at least accept the image the writer has presented. Let us try to look at some of the key aspects of copywriting. The first is purpose. So the primary purpose of copywriting is to drive action. And this could be anything from making a sale, clicking on a particular link, signing up for a newsletter, or even just increasing brand awareness. The second important aspect of copywriting is the target audience. Effective copywriting is tailored to resonate with the audience's needs, desires, problems, or pain points. The third important aspect of copywriting is the headline. So the headline is the most important part of the copy. It needs to grab the attention and encourage the reader to keep reading. Because a strong headline, it promises a benefit or piques curiosity. The fourth important aspect of a copy is call to action, which is commonly known as CTA. So CTA, or a call to action, is a clear instruction that tells the reader what to do next, such as maybe buy now, learn more, subscribe to it today. These words, call to action, it urges the audience to come into action. This is actually the final step in persuading the audience to act. Then the tone and the style. The copy should be written in a tone that suits the brand and appeals to the target audience. And that could be formal or maybe casual, humorous, or authoritative, depending on the context and the message. The sixth important aspect that we need to look into is the benefits over features. A good copywriting it focuses more on the benefits of a product or service rather than just listening to the features. In other words, it tries to answer question to what is in it for the reader. Then clarity and simplicity. So the message should be very clear and easy to understand. One should actually avoid jargons, some complex languages or unnecessary details that might confuse the reader. Then there is a search engine optimization copywriting. This is another important aspect as far as copywriting is concerned. Now in digital copywriting, search engine optimization is the key because this involves using specific keywords and phrases that help the content rank higher in search engine results. Then we have emotional appeal. Now copywriting often taps into emotions to make a stronger connection. Whether it is through humor, it is through fear of missing out, or a sense of urgency, the emotional triggers can actually drive action. So these are some of the, you can say, important key aspects of copywriting. Now, moving on, we have radio copy and television copy. So far we have tried to understand the meaning of the concept of actually what advertising is all about. What are the key areas of advertisements? What are the functions of advertisements? What are different categories of advertisements? What are the key areas of advertisements? And finally, the concept of copywriting. Now, when we talk about copywriting, there are two very important types of copies. One is a radio and the other is a television copy. Now, radio and television copy refers to scripts or written content used in advertisements for radio and television broadcasts. At both these two types of copywriting, it requires unique approaches because of the medium's limitations and possibilities. Now, as far as radio copy is concerned, there are certain key elements that we need to look into. The first important point is the attention grabbing opening. Because a radio copy has no visuals, so the first few seconds are very critical in capturing the listener's attention. The second important point is clear and simple messaging. Radio advertisements should avoid complex language or long sentences. The message should be simple, it should be clear and direct to avoid losing the listener's attention. Then as far as the voice or the tone is concerned, so tone of the advertisement, it should match the target audience and a message being conveyed. If a light, casual tone is working for a fun product, then that should be done. That should be the norm of it. But a more serious tone is usually better for a product that requires trust. Then there is another aspect that we need to emphasize on is the call to action, that is CTA. The CTA should be concise and repeated at least once in the advertisement. There are phrases like call now or visit us today. This kind of phrases, it encourages immediate action. Then there is another important aspect that we need to look into as far as radio copy is concerned, that is sound effects and music. Radio advertisements, it rely on sound to create atmosphere. The music or sound effects can help reinforce the message, set the tone and make the advertisement more memorable. Then there is the idea of pacing. Now since radio advertisements are typically very of short duration, it might be of 15 seconds, 30 seconds or 60 seconds at the most. So pacing is very much important. The copy should flow quickly, but it should be still very clear without overwhelming the listener. Another important aspect of radio copy that we need to look into is repetition. The repetition of the brand name or key message can make the advertisement more memorable, especially since listeners may not hear the advertisement multiple times in a row. Now let us come to television copy. What constitutes a television copy? What are the important aspects that we need to look into as far as television copy is concerned? The first important key element of television copy is the visuals. Now, since television ads, they have the advantage of visuals, so the copy should focus on complementing the imagery. Visual elements like actors, locations, props and colors should all enhance the message. The second important element of a television copy is the strong opening scene. Now, just like radio advertisements, television advertisements, they also need a very strong opening to capture the attention. A compelling scene, engaging visual or dramatic first sentence, it sets the tone of it. The third important aspect is the art of storytelling. Television ads or advertisements, they often tell a short, engaging story to connect with the audience emotionally. Whether it is a humorous one, an inspiring one, or dramatic, a well-crafted narrative can make the advertisement very memorable. The fourth important aspect of the television copy is the dialogue or the voiceover. And depending on the type of advertisement, the voiceover or dialogue, it should match the tone and the style. And the pacing of dialogue is very important. It should be natural but impactful. Then there is a visual call to action. Since television advertisements can be viewed, it can be seen. So the call to action or a CTA should not only be spoken but can also be shown on the screen. And this reinforces the message. Then we have branding, which is another important part or important key element of television copy. The brand should be visible and identifiable either through logo, tagline or product shots, especially in the final movements of the advertisement. Then the use of sound and music. Just like radio, sound plays a critical role as far as television advertisement is concerned. Background music should complement the visuals and help set the emotional tone of the advertisement. Then lastly, we have another important key element of television copy or television advertisement is the duration. Television advertisements, they're typically of 15, 30 or 60 seconds duration, just like a radio advertisement. Hence, what happens is the message must be very concise, with every second contributing to the storytelling or sales objective. So far in this particular unit, we have tried to analyze the concept of advertisement, the key areas of advertisement, what is the function of advertisement, what are different types of advertisement, the concept of copywriting with special emphasis on radio and television copy. And with this, we have come towards the end of this particular unit. Thank you.